I welcome all of you on this platform once again. So, today we are going to discuss parts of speech questions. Previously, we did discuss some questions which were of easy level, right? Now, today in this session, we are going to discuss questions which will be of medium or moderate level. Okay, there will be some change in the patterns, different kinds of patterns will be discussed, and definitely we'll discuss some question which is one level up from the one which we did previously, right? So as we all know, parts of speech consist of noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, preposition, all of these. So definitely the questions are also going to be from these section only, as we have discussed covered all the topics where we have discussed several rules and how they will be applied and etc. In today's session again we'll be discussing moderate level questions, and in this moderate level questions there will be certain directions showed to you, and then we'll see what should be the approach, what should be the appropriate approach of answering these questions, right? So let's begin the session now. First of all, it's a very important to read directions, as I always tell you. So question number 1 to 15, find the best way of writing the given sentence. A sentence has been given and we have to find the best way of writing the given sentence, right? So this is the direction. Now moving on to the question number 1. So there are 4 sentences given. So the first sentence says, our balcony is bigger than our neighbor's balcony. Our balconies are bigger than our neighbors. Our balcony is bigger than that of our neighbors. Our balcony is bigger than our neighbors. So 4 sentences are given. Now when you read these sentences, right, when you read these sentences, you will always find that there's always an appropriate way, like these sentences are written very appropriately, there's no error. But here comes the role of the rules which we discussed previously. So first of all, I would say that the correct usage, for example, I'll just quickly show you, find the best way of writing the given sentence. So you have to find the best sentence which has no error, which is grammatically appropriate. So the sentence which is grammatically appropriate is, how am I going to figure it out? First of all, you have to start eliminating first, right? Always eliminate options before you actually come to a conclusion that this is the appropriate answer. Okay, now first thing, our balcony is bigger than our neighbor's balcony, right? So you're talking about neighbor's balcony. So neighbors written appropriately. You have to find small little errors hidden in each of the sentence. For example, like I can just say that you have to read between the lines, right? So our balcony is bigger than, first of all, then our neighbor's balcony. There should be a possessive, there should be a possessive noun. This should be a possessive noun with an apostrophe or apostrophe s, which is not there. So simply I'll eliminate this option first, right? Simply I'll eliminate this option. The word balcony at the end is also redundant. Definitely we don't need to mention the subject twice in a sentence, so not appropriate. Now the second part is option number B. You see, our balconies are bigger than our neighbors. So the balcony or balconies is or are bigger than our neighbors convey the meaning that balcony is bigger than neighbors, which is wrong, definitely inappropriate in this sentence as well as in this sentence. So we are basically trying to say that our balcony is bigger than our neighbors. So our neighbors, comparing a person with the balcony, inappropriate. Again, our balconies are bigger than our neighbors, comparing person with the balconies, again inappropriate. So the only correct usage of the sentence which doesn't have an error is option number C, which says our balcony is bigger than that of. Now here that of refers to balcony. We are comparing the balcony, right? Our balcony is bigger than that of our neighbors. So we will consider this sentence as appropriate sentence. So the answer to question number 1 is option number C, right? Option number C is the correct sentence, is the appropriate way of writing a sentence. Okay, quite easy to understand, right? Now moving on to the next one. When sentences are very lengthy, right, these sentences are actually trying to distract one's mind, that you will be engaged more in reading the sentence and understanding the sentence than finding the error. So you have to be quite smart while you answer these questions. Okay, so let's read sentences first. So the sentence number 1 says, Nicholas Sparks, the novelist's penchant for the poignant portrayal of human emotions, has earned him great respect in the literary world. Now you see, I somewhat find that sentence number A, right? Sentence number A, everything falls on place, but still I have to figure out. Okay. So first of all, what I can only through scanning, I'm not reading all the sentences, but just by scanning, I can definitely pick up something, a few things here, which is grammatically inappropriate. For example, when we say, when I see Nicholas Sparks has an apostrophe. So the apostrophe indicates plural form, but Nicholas Sparks is one person, which means this is an inappropriate sentence. So eliminated. Now in this option, in the option number C, you see Nicholas Sparks. The novelist is totally an incorrect English. We will not use apostrophe S like this with the Nicholas, right? Inappropriate, eliminated. Here you see Nicholas Sparks, the novelist's penchant for the poignant portrayal of human emotions, has earned great respects in the literary world. Why will I say the word respects? Respect is an abstract noun, isn't it? Something which can be felt but cannot be seen or touched. So respect is an abstract noun which never takes a plural form. So it should be respect and not respects. So option number D again gets eliminated. Which of the following am I left with? I am left with only option number 1, which is in place. Every word used here is in its correct place, okay, is correctly used. So this is the correct answer to the following question. Question number 2, the correct answer is option number A, most appropriate sentence out of the given options. Next, question number 3 says, burnt out, tuned out, cropped out, however you want to put it, the unending anguishing coverages makes me yearn for the peaceful days of Manade. Now here you see the sentence is used appropriately, but there are a few things which are not appropriate when I read sentence 1. So making an understanding of your trying to understand the sentence should be only done with the help of the first option which you read, and then you have to actually scan where is the error. So here I see, you see here in all of the sentences there it has been repeated. See, burnt out, tuned out, cropped out, however you want to put it. Burnt out, tuned out, cropped out, however you want to put it. Burnt out, tuned out, cropped out, however you want to put it. Burnt out, tuned out, cropped out, however you want to put it. So everything is exactly the same till here. Now let me just read the one which is written here. Me yearn for the peaceful days of Manade. Me yearn for the peaceful days of Manade. Me for Manade, the peaceful days of. Okay, again, me yearn for the peaceful days of Manade. Now this option number A, B and D, quite similar, right? Quite similar. Now when I read coverage makes me for Manade the peaceful days of, I already know that this is used inappropriately, right? The option number C, coverages make me for Manade is a vague sentence. The correct sentence should be coverages make me yearn for the peaceful days of Manade, as mentioned in rest of the options. So this option is already eliminated. Now when I eliminate this, again I'll just read a few more things. So I see the unending anguishing coverages makes The unending anguishing coverage makes. The unending anguishing coverage makes. Again makes. Coverage make. So when I say coverage make, this is already an inappropriate word. You see, it should be makes me, right? Because you have to use a singular form of verb. Singular form of verb for me. Singular form of verb for singular me, right? So make is incorrect. Again, option number D gets eliminated here. So we are only left with two options, option A and option B. Now you see, do we ever say coverages? Coverages is no word in English language. It has to be coverage, right? It has to be coverage. So this option is also eliminated. Now you have reached to a point where you know your answer is option number B. So for 3 number question, answer is B. Let me just read it for you quickly. Burnt out, tuned out, cropped out, however you want to put it, the unending anguishing coverage makes me yearn for the peaceful days of Mana Day. Right? This is the appropriate sentence. Moving on to the next question. So growing long, growing long, growing long, growing of long. See, growing of long. You found an error, eliminated. Beautiful and healthy hairs, beautiful and healthy hair, beautiful and healthy hair, beautiful and healthy hair. Now you don't say hairs, you always say hair. This one eliminated. Is not at all a difficult process, is none at all a difficult process. Is not at all a difficult process, is not at all a difficult process. So I've already eliminated A and D. Now the next one which I'll eliminate is none at all. None at all. Why? First of all, in option number 1, hairs is no word, it is only hair. In option number B, none is totally wrong here. It should be not, right? It should be not. And in option number D, the preposition of is redundant here. We don't require of with growing. So I am, see, in just fraction of seconds, I am on my correct sentence. I get my answer so quickly. So this should be the approach, that your eyes should be scanning and understanding the, processing the processing the understanding also, and meanwhile you must also try to figure out which part of the sentence is written inappropriately, or which word in this sentence is written up inappropriately. It shouldn't be there, or it is sounding inappropriate, or it is redundant here. So you should quickly be able to reason. The moment you are able to reason is the moment you get your answer easily. Okay, so the correct answer for question number 4 is option number C. Okay, moving on to the next question. If USSR have always had the want of empire, they have also be gifted the world with the ideal of populist sovereignty, right? Now you see, in option number A, there, first of all, populist. What is populist? What is populist? It should be popular sovereignty, right, instead of populist, as populist is a noun with altogether different meaning, but there, here popular is an adjective. So I am basically trying to use an adjective for this noun here. So I'll use popular and not populist. Okay, and they also have been they be gifted what? So the correct sentence should be, they have also begetted the world with the ideal of popular sovereignty. It's not be gifted. Okay, it shouldn't be here, be gifted here. Okay, so this part of the sentence is inappropriate, as I can directly see here. Okay, so this part, due to populist, eliminated. Again, if USSR have always had the want of empire with the ideal of popular sovereignty, they have also be gifted the world. So this part is vague here. It's very vague to say with the ideal of popular sovereignty, they have also be gifted the world. So be gifted what? Okay, so here the correct sentence would be, they have also be gifted the world with the idol of popular sovereignty as mentioned in this sentence. So B again gets eliminated. Now the third sentence you see, the if USSR have always had the want of empire, they have also be gifted the world with the idol of popular sovereignty. So here you see there is an incorrect and in C and D we'll just compare these two sentences. Okay, have always, has always. So definitely this is one country and this is not one. This is one country, but still using what? Still using have. Always had the want of empire. Have has always wanted an empire. Want of empire. What is this want of empire? Want of empire will again be an incorrect usage because it sounds like like a habit. Okay, it has also, they have, it has also be gifted the world with the idol of popular sovereignty. So this option also gets eliminated and the correct one is option number D. So question number 5, the correct one is option number D, right? Next, so we are basically discussing these questions to make you understand that how can you approach a question, how can you actually make a correct approach when you're answering any such question like these. Okay, do not get confused in any way, right? So let's read these sentences. First, the drive from the Pacific colonies to the Atlantic, in which settler pressure boosted by extraordinarily demographic growth demanded the acquisition of territory. Okay, demanded the acquisition of territory, demanded the acquisition of territory, demanded the acquisition of territory, used exactly in the same way in all the sentences, which means this part is somewhere correct, right? Now you see, boosted by extraordinarily demographic growth. Do we say extraordinarily demographic growth? We are talking about growth, and that growth is what? That boosted by demographic extraordinary growth, or we can even say extraordinary demographic growth, right? But do I need to use here extraordinarily? No, eliminated. Again, you see here, boosted by extraordinary demographic growth, not demographic extraordinary growth. Why not demographic extraordinary growth? Because it's vague in sense. It should be extraordinary demographic growth, right? So again, this option also gets eliminated here. Now I'm left with two options, so I'll just quickly read the option number C. First, the drive from the Pacific colonies to the Atlantic, in which settler pressure boosted by extraordinary demographic growth demanded the acquisition of territory. Now the D1 says the drive from the Pacific colonies to the Atlantic boosted by extraordinary demographic growth, in which settler pressure demanded the acquisition of territory. Now what is the difference here? What difference do we see here? That in which settler pressure, why will I make it a phrase here? Why will I bring this phrase part here? This phrase placement is totally incorrect here. This phrase is appropriately used in the other sentences where it is actually used, and that is how it connects. It gives a proper and clear meaning. So definitely this part is again incorrect, and we'll go with option number C, which says first, the drive from the Pacific colonies to the Atlantic, in which settler, in which is referred to what? The drive, right? In which settler pressure boosted by extraordinary demographic growth demanded the acquisition of territory. So option number C, question number C, correct answer is option number C. Next, they hope that Japanese will yet travel, still travel, nevertheless travel, though, although more parsimoniously, all the more parsimoniously, all the more parsimoniously, all the more parsimoniously. All the sentences are, all the words in the sentence are correct except this part, right? So this part is the decision maker, that which sentence is appropriate. So definitely, what do we say? Will yet travel, will still travel, will nevertheless travel, or will travel. With will, what do we use? If I'm using an adverb and first form of verb, so definitely I'll use an adverb in between the helping verb and the main verb. So this part of the sentence, option number, let's start with option number A. Yet is conjunction is not required. Incorrect. Second sentence is somewhat correct. In the third one, you see nevertheless, the usage of adverb nevertheless is same as yet, right? So if option A is wrong, then option C is also incorrect. Same happens when we use though, although. That's not required here when we are using though, although. Why will I use these two conjunctions together, though also and although also? Incorrect and incorrect. So I'm left with only one correct option, which is option number B. So question number 7, the correct answer is option number B, will still travel more, although more parsimoniously. Right? Moving on to the next one, question number 8. At 65, he is reassuringly more old than Mr. ABC, but he has been a politician for less than 3 years, which fits nicely with Mr. ABC's message of youthfulness and change. Now, you see here, I see some of the incorrect words used even in the beginning. Why would I use the term more old? Isn't there a word older already? Why will I use more old? And when I am using more old, which is a clear sign that I am comparing the age of two person, and I have to use a comparative degree adjective here. So when I am using a comparative degree adjective here, you see in the rest of the sentences, in option number B it's just old. Okay, here option number C, older is there. In D also older is there. So in B also old than is written, where there is no sign of comparison. There's no usage of comparative degree, because here we are using basically comparing two people's ages, and I don't see any comparative adjective here. So this sentence is inappropriate, and this one is inappropriate. So A and B option eliminated straight. Now we look into the option C and D. At 65, he is reassured older than. Now, why will I use the term reassured? If I'm using an adjective, I'll use an adverb to modify it. I'll not use a verb here with the adjective, right? So reassuringly is appropriate and reassured is inappropriate. So option number 8, the correct answer is option number D, right? And not A, B, C. Okay, next question. His recent achievement would not be possible without the country's active capital markets, which have grown exceptional this decade. Which have grown exceptional this decade. Exceptionally. Definitely exceptional is not appropriate. Eliminated. Straight eliminated. Right? It should be the correct word should be exceptionally and not exceptional, which is used in other sentences. Okay. Now, in option B, it says his recent achievement would not be possible or possibly. It is describing the achievement here, right? So possible is appropriate and not the not the adverb possibly, right? So I'll eliminate option B as well. Now moving on to the option number C and D. Let's find out which one is the correct. His recent achievement would not be possible without the country's active capital markets, which have grown exceptionally this decade. D says his recent achievements would not be possible without the country's actively capital markets. No, not actively capital markets. Active will be used instead of actively, which correctly describes the capital markets, right, in the sentence. So option number D eliminated, option number C is left. So question number 9, correct answer is option number C. Okay. Next one. One author claimed to see light from the end of the underground passage. One author. In all the options, we see that the correct, the word one author is repetitively used. Claim to see light, claim to see light, claim to see light. From the end, to the end, for the end, at the end of the underground passage. So when I am using a preposition from, it is from one place to another, right? But the author is actually claiming that something is coming from that side. So eliminated. Again, to also represents movement. It is used for, it is basically not appropriately used here. So 2 is again eliminated. Again, for the end, because for, like, we are doing it for someone, for this reason, it is kind of giving a reason which is totally absurd, not required. So correct usage would be, one author claimed to see the light at the end of the underground passage. So the correct answer for question number 10 is option number D. Next. My brother is accustomed to helping everyone. So now in this sentence, this is very clear. Accustomed to helping everyone, accustomed of OFF, you are trying to help someone. So why will you use a term OFF of, which is a clear sign that it means disconnect, connect, like, disintegration, disintegrating something. Incorrectly used, inappropriately used. To, to, helping everyone, adverb not required with the phrasal verb or phrasal preposition. My brother has been accustomed of helping everyone's. There's no such word as everyone's, definitely incorrect. So the correct answer is, my brother is accustomed to helping everyone. Option number, question number 11, option number A is appropriate. Next. The minister who criticizes his main rival as a superficial salesman has been unable to sell off himself. Has been unable to sell off, has been unable to sell out, has been unable to selling, has been unable to sell down himself. So the minister, so there are 4 sentences written here. You see in option number A and B, the inappropriate usage of sell off, OFF off, and OUT out is used. So these 2 sentences eliminated. Now when we say to selling himself and when we say to sell down, so in option number C, usage of, basically in option number C, if you see, has been unable to selling. So to always takes first form of verb, following it in its simplest form, infinitives, right? Verb infinitives. So it will not be selling, it will be to sell, to sell. So this will be to sell and not selling. So this is again inappropriate. So we are left with only one option, which says the minister who criticizes his main rival as a superficial salesman has been unable to sell down himself. So question number 12, correct answer is option number D. Next, John and Keats. Keats. The name of the poet is John and Keats and not Keats, right? So first of all, John and Keats. Let's read it first. John and Keats, when they tried the same experiments using bronze and aluminium metals, no or extraordinary effect was seen. Okay, so basically we are here, these 2 are the names, right? These 2, John and Keats, are the names of 2 persons. So here John and Keats, I'll not use plural form of, plural S with Keats because it's the name of a person. So this is eliminated. Again, let's read option number C. In option number C, you will see that it says John or Keats. Again, inappropriate conjunction is used. John nor Keats, inappropriate conjunction is used. So you see the correct answer is John and Keats, when they tried the same experiments using bronze and aluminium metals, no extraordinary effect was seen. So for question number 13, the correct and appropriate answer is option number A. Okay. Next, moving on to the next one. He led the team not only in statistics but by power of his enthusiasm. We'll just scan, keep on scanning, scan with me, okay? He led the team not only in statistics, also, but. So for not only, what do we follow? Only but, or only also, or but also, or with only, or just not only but also, which is the appropriate correlative conjunction which follows together, which precedes each other. The correct one is, the correct usage is not only but also. He led the team not only in statistics but also by power of his enthusiasm. So, question number 14, the appropriate answer is in option number D. I'm pretty sure now you are able to, analyze, and the moment you read the question, you know how to figure out the appropriate sentence and check which part of the sentence has an error instantly. Now, next. The club members complained loudly about the heat. The club members complained loudly about the heat. Thus, therefore, since, yet, they continue to play cricket this weekend. Question number 15, you see, thus they, therefore they, since they, yet they. So when I say clearly in all the options, the usage of conjunction to join the two clauses is absolutely wrong. For example, in option number A, it is like using as a conclusion. Thus and therefore are concluding words, inappropriately used here. The club members complained loudly about the heat since they continued to play cricket. Like while they were playing cricket, that time only they were complaining. This is again inappropriate and absurd. So the correct usage is, we are trying to join two sentences. So the club members complained loudly about the heat. Yet they continued to play the cricket this weekend. This is the appropriate usage. So for question number 15, correct answer is option number D. Next. Okay, we have some more set of questions. Let's read that. So from question number 16 to 36, choose the grammatically correct sentence from the following options and put a tick mark in the box provided. Okay, we'll discuss. I'll give you 30 seconds time so that you are able to analyze the question, and then you can definitely answer them. We'll discuss it for sure. Okay, so these are some moderate level questions. I'm sure question number 1 to 15 was quite easy for you to understand and the approach was quite clear. Let's read the questions here. See, here it says, choose the grammatically correct sentence from the following options and put a tick mark in the box. Okay, next. So the only active student was Mr. Jackson's apostrophe S son, who was busy trying to step on the other boy's apostrophe toes in his new shoe. Okay, take your time quickly. The boy, all the sentences are different. Okay, there are different sentences used here. The boy came up to her one by one and she pushed the spoon into one mouth after another to make sure that each should have his full share. The children sat shivering together and seemed to lack the spirits to move about. I have never seen such a beautiful scenery. So out of all the sentences, you see firstly, other boys toes must be followed by plural form of the noun shoes, not shoe, right? That means we must write new shoes, not shoe. Inappropriate. In question number B, you say, we are using here one by one, right? Which suggests that there are definitely more than one, and in fact more than two boys. So the correct sentences would be, the boys came up to her one by one, and she pushed the spoon into one mouth after another to make sure that each should have his full share. Okay, so this should be boys. It should be boys and not boy, just boy. Okay, incorrect. The children sat shivering together and seemed to lack the spirits is being used an abstract noun in the plural form, hence it is wrong. So the correct answer should be lack the spirit, to move about. Again inappropriate, hence option number D, sentence number D, I have never seen such a beautiful scenery, is appropriately used, and hence this is the correct one out of the given options in question number 16. Okay, moving on to the next one. Bacteria is too small to be seen except through a microscope. She lived 200 years ago, and in her spare times used to watch the tiny little living things which she saw under his microscope. If bacteria find suitable food and warmth, it multiplies very fast. If you look at the bacteria of cholera through microscope, you will see at once that they are alive. So you have four sentences here. In sentence A and C, you see the word bacteria is a plural noun. See, bacteria is a plural noun, right? So with plural noun, what do we use? We use a plural verb. Bacteria are finds, not finds. It will be fine. So A and C straight away eliminated because of the uh, plural verb. Now in B it says the phrase her spare times. It will not be times, it will be her spare time. So this is again inappropriate. So the only option we are left with which is correct is option number D. If you look at the bacteria of cholera through microscope, you will see at once that they are alive. You see for bacteria they are using are. Plural form of verb. Question number 18. After a few months, the boss stood in a corner overseeing the staff do his job. Seeing the heap of garbage lying for months were cleared. The conclusion that rigid labor laws constitute a minor barrier to growth reflect poor judgment. Going back to the Rohit Sharma presentation, one gets another indication how the firm can come up with faulty analysis, right? So see, we have a few sentences here, four sentences. So in option number A, the staff do his job should be the staff doing their job. The staff doing their job. So this is again inappropriate. In option number B, you see heap of garbage, right? Heap of garbage is a singular noun and it will take a singular form of verb. It is using collectively, collective noun is being used here, right? So for this collective one, we'll use was and not were. Eliminated. In C, you see since the conclusion, right? Since the conclusion is a singular noun, it must take a singular verb which is reflects and not reflect. Option number D has no error and hence is the appropriate one out of the given options. Next, what is so damn wonderful about mass murder is that nobody in the history of the world has ever found any smarter solution to problems than killing everybody who don't agree? Question mark. The wounded came in the batches of 200 across the Black Sea, a fearful voyage for the sick men that had no beds and often no blankets and only salt rations to eat. The teacher assured that he would be glad to help every one of its boys in their studies. This is one of the most amazing fictions that have appeared this year. So you see in question number 19, when I say in option number 1, everybody, right? There's a word everybody used here, a pronoun everybody. So everybody is singular indefinite pronoun, hence should take a singular verb, does not and not do not. So this will be who does not agree. Who doesn't agree. Right? And this sentence is inappropriate. In B1, you see the wounded came in batches of 200 across the Black Sea, a fearful voyage for sick men. Sick men that had no beds and often no blankets and only rations to eat. You see, there's a relative pronoun used here, right? The relative pronoun is that. So who is that referring to here? Who is that being referred to here? It should be replaced with who, because we are talking about the sick men, right? We are talking about the sick men, so it should be who and not that. Incorrect. In C, you see their studies. What is their studies? It should be his studies. teacher's studies, right? The teacher assured that he would be glad to help every one of his boys in his studies, individual boys in his studies, right? So this is again inappropriate. And the correct sentence is option number D. In this, you see, one of the most amazing fictions that have appeared this year, that is fiction, that because the antecedent of that is fiction and not one. Okay, so it is being have is being used for fictions and not for one. Clear? So the plural verb is appropriately used here. Question number 20. It might also amaze you readers to know that even at this age there are many photographers who say a black and white film expresses its innovation better. So in this sentence, you see, we are talking about photographers, right? We are talking about photographers, and so it should be have been their innovation, have been their innovation, not its innovation. In second sentence, let alone new proof, let alone new proof, there is hardly any proof that prayer works, but on the suggestion of her friend, my wife started praying for a cure and told me to do the same and not myself. Over the ridge in eastern Pakistan on November 11, 2001, 5 journalists clung to the outside of an armored vehicle when a Northern Alliance general told them that the Taliban had fled. Okay, so this seems somewhat correct, but we'll just read option number D as well. The answer, Ragi and others believe, has as much to do with the mind as they do with the body. So you see, should here it should have been as it does with the body, as it does with the body, and not as they do with the body, right? Now read it. The answer, Ragi and others believe, has as much to do with the mind as it does with the body. So this will be appropriate. Hence, it is inappropriate here. So the correct sentence is option number C. Okay, I'm sure you must have enjoyed answering these questions. Quite a good one. And these are brain churning sessions. Okay, they give you an overview that even when there are patterns like these where the different sentences are used, you must know that how to answer these questions. Okay, you are practicing, but the more you practice the better you become, isn't it? So you have to understand that practicing is very important. So this session is only for that reason, because the more you will practice the better you become, basically. So that is why some different sentences are given, and there is a high possibility that you will always get a different sort of, you know, you'll always get a different kind of question, different pattern in each of the exam you appear for, whether it be some government exams, whether it be B school exams, or whether it be cat mat zat exams, any of these. Okay, next. So the question says, at 24, the famous actress Angelina Jolie won an Oscar for playing a psychopath in Girl Interrupted, but found little satisfaction in stardom or the wealth that came with them. Why will I use or? I'm actually, that is, we are considering either of the two, right? So therefore the expression should be that came with them. That came with them, not that came with it, and not them. So I found the bug here. Next, option number B says Prashant did not consider the vernacular study a pedagogic issue and advocated the study of vernaculars as the ultimate goal in education, for they would take education to the masses. So here the sentence, like, since we are talking about the study of vernaculars, which is a singular noun, the following pronoun should have been it instead of they. You see, the pronoun used is they and not it, so it should be it and not they. Next sentence, he had read and liked Charles' book, But evidently it was his British friends rather than the first of the line of American reporters who influenced him the most. So here the option number C is somewhat correct, but we'll just read the D one and then come to a conclusion that which one of the following is appropriate. There might be a possibility that you don't find an error, but suddenly when you read another option, you start thinking that this one is also correct. So you must touch all the options first, and then you must make a conclusion or a decision that which one is correct and which one is inappropriate. Now D1 says, my girlfriend and myself plan to get married in 2 years if we are able to finish our education by that time. So the reflexive pronoun myself can never be the subject of a sentence, as we already know. So you will use my girlfriend and I plan, right? So the correct one is option number C. Next question. The farms located near Punjab in the lap of nature help relieve tourists of the tensions, bringing them face to face with the quintessential Indian way of life. Quite a correct and appropriate, seems appropriate. Let's read another one. So the another one says, to promote the use of biofertilizers, the state government is giving subsidy to farmers at the rate of rupees 1000 per unit, and farmers are being provided with such knowledge as it will aid him to convert. Why will I use the term aid him to convert? Farmers, we are talking about farmers, isn't it? So aid him is inappropriate. It will be aid them to convert bioactive substances into good quality fertilizers. Known for its excellent holiday packages, Malay Tours has always endeavored to make your holidays. Make your holidays? What do we mean by your holidays? Okay, your holidays as personalized as possible for as little as 34,499. It gives us, again, if you are using your holiday, why will I use us here? It gives you, Malaysia, and much more, right? Gives you, not us. Indian Railways believes, now here only, Indian Railways is a unit, right? Believes that, singular verb used, that their new customer friendly services they can take on the low cost airlines. Okay, so here you see their new customer friendly face would be an appropriate, and they can take are wrong, right? So their new customer friendly services they can take on the low cost airlines. So here their new customer friendly face and not they can take. Their new customer friendly services they can take is inappropriately used here. So the correct answer is option number A. Next one. The later chapters of this book are not important. Okay, later chapter. Why will I use the term later chapters here? Later is a comparative degree, and with reference to time, we always use late and not later. That too, when there is an article, definite article. Okay, so the last chapter or the late chapters, we can say. Okay. Similarly, you see in next sentence, man, the most successful animal on earth, has been the more cruel. Man, the most successful animal on earth, has been the most cruel and not the more cruel. The most cruel. Fewer books are needed because I do not have time to go through them. Okay, sounds correct. This scheme is for you and I, mutual benefit. This scheme is for you and I, inappropriately used. It should be, the scheme is for your and my mutual benefit. For your and my mutual benefit. So the correct one is option number C. Next question in the go. We also have women friendly work policies where women employees can take a relaxed sabbatical of up to 6 weeks. Okay. So in option number A, you see the form of, basically adjective form of relaxed should be relaxed and not relax. Because relax here sounds more like a verb than an adjective. So a relaxed sabbatical. Incorrect. None of the employees are willing to perform. None of the employees are willing to perform and not of perform. She insisted she insisted on knowing how the terrifying accident had happened. How the terrifying accident? We will use how the horrible accident. Horrible would be a correct word which should be used here, because terrify is a noun, and with accident we will use an adjective defining the noun. So we are defining accident. So how was the accident? The accident was horrible. Married in a civil ceremony in Goa, they later held a joyous wedding celebration with 700 relatives and friends in Jaipur, where they now live. Correct. Question number 25. The developer would inform you in writing regarding the stage of construction and would raise a demand for farther indicates as comparative adjective, farther indicates distance, further amounts as the construction progresses, whereas further will be correctly used here. So the correct word would be further and not farther. It would be advised for the buyer to counter check the stage of construction prior to making the payments. So it would be advisable and not advised. It would be advisable. Inappropriate. Mamta Kapoor, a Mumbai based psychotherapist and counselor, recalls how a close friend made a sarcastical remark about her at a party 12 years ago. Sarcastical remark. The remark, you are defining the remark, right, with the help of an adjective. So it will be sarcastic remark and not sarcastical remark. Furious, Shantanu refused to change his plans, but deep down he did not want to break off all ties. Correct. Now, next question. Question number. This question. This question says someone would inspect the kitchen twice a week to look whether everything is nice and clean. So you see, why will I use the term to look? To see, right? To see. Someone to see. A week. Someone should inspect the kitchen twice a week to see whether everything is nice and clean. Inappropriate. I want to meet him. I want to meet him. Okay, sounds correct. An ambulance arrived and the man was carried to the hospital. So an ambulance arrived and the man was not carried to the hospital. He is not an object. Taken to the hospital. Taken to the hospital. Lie the child down to sleep. Not lie. The correct verb would be lay the child. Lay the child to sleep. So the correct one is I want you to meet him. Next question. I learned from making my mistakes. I learned from making my many mistakes. Okay. College students are on very great pressure indeed. College students are under, right? Are on, not on, are under very great pressure. I realized how much different everybody's personality is. How the usage of verb much is redundant here, so I can just use how different, which will be inappropriate. No, much is not required here. Again, the next sentence is the shop assistant asked me gently what I wanted. When someone asks you, so the correct appropriate word would be asked me politely. And the correct sentence is option number A. Next question. 15 years ago, Manish Sareen, an Indian development behavioral pediatrician, did a study in which 54 children were given two different strict controlled diets. So, strict controlled should be Strictly controlled, not strict controlled. Strictly, you are basically using an adverb to modify the word controlled, the verb controlled. So I will use strictly and not strict. Gathering data about species distribution and population size is crucial. Okay, so this sentence sounds correct. Next, let's read the next one. Rohan was simply very lazy to go to school and he opted to spin lies than tell his wife and family he had dropped out. Okay, so basically very lazy to go is sounds positive, right? So we are supposed to use to in place of very to make it somewhat negative, right? So to is correctly used here, will be used here, not very. I prayed so hard for a miracle, not realizing I had already been given one, for had it been hot, I would have severely become dehydrated and probably died. I would have severely, okay. So here basically you see in option number C, the position of the adverb severely is inappropriately used here. I would have become dehydrated. I would have become dehydrated severely. It should be I would have become dehydrated severely, right? So the correct one is option number B, and these three are incorrect. Next question. Like children, she has a craving of chocolate. Like children, she has a craving for and not of, craving for chocolate. Your behavior calls for an immediate explanation. Okay, sounds correct. The magazine teaches parents how to behave with their children. So basically, in place of with, an appropriate preposition would be towards their children. Next one, the atomic bomb has given man the capacity of self destruction. The atomic bomb has given man the capacity for self destruction. So the appropriate one is option number B, right? Okay, moving ahead. Question number 31. On a Wednesday in late January, Rohan was before the wheel of a car that pulled into the car parking of the bar just down the street from the bank. He was not before the wheel, he was behind the wheel. He must be behind, right? How will you can be before the wheel? You're not an object, you're not a tire there, right? So this sentence inappropriate. Even before he met Sneha, Raj had been eluding cops and baffling those close to her for years. Okay, somewhat sounds correct. Let's read the C option. Tanya arrived home just weeks after the massive African bombing of Shanghai and joined with the efforts to rebuild the devastated city. So basically, the correct there is a definitely there's something incorrect, and that is joined with the efforts. Joined with the efforts is incorrect. Joined in the efforts. Sentence D says Shreya returned from a trip to be greeted by the news that not only would the marriage be allowed, but couple could also live where they choose to. So greeted by the news is inappropriate. It should be greeted with the news. Okay, this is inappropriate. Now the correct one is option number B again. Next, neither Rehan's father nor mine couldn't understand the problem. Okay, neither and nor already convey the negative meaning of the sentence, so we are not supposed to use couldn't here. We should use could. So inappropriate. We can go in my car unless if you prefer to walk. So two conjunction conveying the same meanings is vague to use together. Okay. So here unless and if. Use if only, unless not required. She lived in New York for many years, therefore, she considers New York as her home. Okay. I was born and brought up in Paris. Nevertheless, India is the country that I have grown to love and where I now live. So, nevertheless is altogether a different sentence, meaning it should start as a new sentence. So, the correct sentence would be I was born, I was born and brought up in Paris. Nevertheless, India is the country that I have grown to love, right? So, nevertheless is basically altogether giving a different meaning. So, I don't think so. Nevertheless will have an appropriate usage here. So, the correct sentence is option number C. Next question. So, our luckiest title. So, when you say our luckiest title, is not that we are the contemporaries of Charles, but than that we are the descendants of Shakespeare. But that we are the descendants of Shakespeare. It should be but, not than here, because you're already using a superlative degree adjective in the beginning, right? Second number question, the right of self defense is founded in the law of nature and it cannot be replaced by the law of society. Never carry out argument with heat and force when you think or know yourself to be in the right. So you say in option number C, it should be it should basically be unless you think or know, right? Unless you think or know. When you think or know is not appropriate here. It should be unless you think or know. Inappropriate. There is no power than Dr. John labored more sedulously to instill into young men but the power of truthfulness. There is no power than the power of truthfulness. I believe this sentence would be like this. Since we are comparing the power of truthfulness, well, all the other powers we should say than and not but here also, right? So it should be there is no power then the power of truthfulness. Then the power of truthfulness according to the word that here. Okay. So this is also inappropriate and the correct one would be option number B. Next question. Hooray, he is dead. Bravo. What was that? Haha, it's really funny. Bad luck, we have won the game. Very easy to find out. So when you are expressing, first of all, you have to understand the expressions here. When you say hooray, he's dead, you don't say hooray, he's dead. You say alas, he's dead, right? You're not expressing joy here. Bravo, was that? You are basically expressing surprise. So you can say, huh, what was that? Instead of bravo. Haha, it's really funny. Appropriate. Bad luck, we have won the game. Hooray, we have won the game. With bad luck, you won't express joy. You are expressing joy, right? So bad luck is an appropriate expression here. Next. Rehan, Rohit or Sunny will do their best during the painting competition. During the painting competition. As one of them will do the best in the competition, so singular pronoun should be used. Will do his best in the painting competition. Everyone needs someone to love. Everyone is followed by singular form of verb, so everyone needs someone to love and not need. I always wash myself before breakfast. So I always have a wash before breakfast. I don't wash myself.